Namaste YouTube, welcome to Cafe Enoma and welcome to our reaction to JETHRO TULL. We are going to react to the Songs from the Wood. I think that's the album name as well. This is the title track of the album. Because we reacted to a couple of songs in the past, people mentioned it was from Songs from the Wood. Let's listen to this then.
Okay.
First time single take honest reaction for this song.
Let me bring you songs from the woods to make you feel much better than you could know. Better than you could Dust you down from tip to toe. Dust you down from tip to toe. Show you how the garden grows. Show you how the garden grows. Hold you steady as you go. Hold steady as you join the chorus if you can. It'll make of you an honest man. Let me bring you love from the fields. Poppies red and roses filled with summer rain to heal the wound and still the pain that threatens again and again as we drag down every lover's lane. Life's long celebrations here. I'll toast you all in any cheer. Let me bring you all things refined. Galley heights and lit songs served in chilling ale. Greetings, well met fellow, hail. I am the wind to fill your sail. I am the frost to take your nail. A singer of these ageless times, with kitchen prose and gutter rhymes. Let me bring you love from the fields. Poppies red and roses filled with summer rain to heal the wound and still the pain that threatens again and again as we drag down every lover's lane. Life's long celebrations here. I'll toast you all in any cheer. Songs from the world.
Okay. Yeah. Positives for me are that the music was really rich in this. I like the music, I like the tune. But what happened to the chorus when that Songs from the Wood was sung? It sounds so depressing and boring. I thought that part of the song would be the most vibrant,
Yeah, actually.
powerful, and good. But it was simply drowned out with the loud sound of the music. It was actually unnecessary. Even if that Songs from the Wood was not put in there, I would have really enjoyed this song a lot more. But because of that very weak, I call it a break, call it a chorus. I don't know if you can call it a chorus because it was so weak, could barely stand on its knees. It was very weakly done. What I liked over here, and I wish it was done a lot more in Jethro Tull's music, was the background singers should have played a more prominent role than this vocalist himself all the time. So here you got glimpses of the wonderful music, the wonderful sound of their voices when they came in bits and pieces here and there. But I wish it was only them singing. And I mean it in a very respectful way. It's not that I don't like Jethro Tull's music. If you see, most of our reactions have been quite good. We've enjoyed most of it. The fact is that we also here to be honest, and the vocals just don't do it for me. Now maybe it goes over my head, maybe I just don't get his voice. A guy from India who can't sing like this, maybe I just don't understand this kind of voice. It just sounds weird to me. It has started sounding weird from the last 3 songs, and today it exemplified that weirdness all the more. So I wish that the other vocalist would do a bigger job in the vocals of Jethro Tull. I know that's asking for too much from a band that's probably retired, and some of the members probably hung up, probably dead. So I know that's asking for too much. But if I was around when Jethro Tull was actually making music, I would have definitely written in personally or written a review somewhere where they could find it. That, look here, I've heard a lot of great music from around the world, not just from UK or USA or 1-2 countries. And I think this is your weakest link. Had you really focused more on good vocals and focused on playing the flute more? Because whenever he plays the flute, it's really good.
Nice.
Sometimes it's a bit too loud even because, you don't really get it. It's what is actually happening. Now let's get to another positive. The title of the song is Songs from the Wood. You'll obviously assume it's going to be things from the forest, from the jungle, from the woods. I'm assuming it's the same thing there as it is here. So it's a song exemplifying the power of Mother Nature. Mother Nature, all things good around us, the great outdoors. Call it what you will. All those good things, how they light up our day, light up our nights even. If you're staring at the night sky, campfire, bonfire below, and us enjoying the night sky. Day and night, it can light up our life. So I'm assuming that's what they're trying to say. But with so much focus on the music, so much focus on, I don't know what. I don't really figure it out also, because maybe it's all going over my head. It's so advanced for me, this kind of music. And with such wise listeners of Jethro Tull and such other bands that we get requested, maybe I just don't understand what they're trying to do. I'll be honest enough. I'm very humble. It's all gone over my head. But definitely, it's not my cup of tea to listen to music like this every day.
You like Indian chai.
It would be boring. It would be depressing. It would actually be sounding utterly obnoxious by the end of the day. With that loud flute coming in again and again, drowning out the music of the other band members, as well as the almost depressing sounding vocals, as if he's suffering from some kind of a mental disorder. And I'm a psychotherapist talking, so I know what I'm talking about. I've dealt with enough people in this realm for over 20 years to know what I'm talking about. So it does sound like, the person is suffering from a mental disorder while he's singing. And I know that part, maybe the listeners of Jethro Tull, almost 99.9% of them won't understand. Some things have gone over my head, but definitely what I've understood of their music has certainly gone over yours. What are your thoughts, Kirti?
I would agree with most of the things that you said. Most means almost all.
Okay.
Yeah, why? Because the music was good. The music was there and it was good. But with a title like that, "Songs from the Wood," having an Indian hat, definitely the JETHRO TULL are not Indian, so I can't expect them to play something like what I'm expecting. But when I think about the woods, when I think about the jungles, when I think about the rainforest, when I think about the natural forces that exist there, the birds, the animals, and everything, all those natural sounds that this song did not give.
Yeah, there was no
It
rain sound,
absolutely
there
did
were no
not give.
birds
Yeah.
chirping. There
So
was nothing.
I'm not sure how it may connect to someone from those parts, but for me, it was complete
No,
disconnection. on that part.
to be honest, whatever I know of Western music,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people connect with music like that. They will connect with it instantly.
I hope.
Because they don't look for that extra, little bit extra. They don't want it to be as real as possibly I want it to be or you want it to be.
Yeah.
So they don't expect, have those expectations.
And vocally,
Yeah.
I liked multiple voices coming in, and I was hoping when it started, it came like as if it was Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Like that kind of a start was there where the backup singers were coming in, but then they disappeared. Soon they disappeared.
Once again, I think I'll disagree with what you just said. Comparing the music of Queen with these guys, it's a huge compliment to JETHRO TULL, but it's also
It didn't happen.
it's a huge insult to Queen.
Yeah.
Both come from the same country, so
Yeah.
it's not that I'm putting one down or the other up just for another reason. Queen, what they do when they get together, or even one singer doing it in the way in a recording studio and put together in the editing phase, is just outstanding. This was just, I wish it sounded like Queen.
Yeah.
To put it simpler, if it sounded like Queen, I wouldn't be saying what I just said. I disagree. Queen is the band, that is Queen is
band.
way ahead of JETHRO TULL as far as making songs like these are concerned. If they did a song like that, it would have been wonderful. I didn't get a feel. There were lines like Poppy Red and
I
Roses.
know all of that.
I know the lines were there. It was poetic at times, but it didn't make me feel that.
It didn't get
It didn't
through.
make me
It
feel
didn't
the
come
summer
across as
rain.
that,
It didn't
yeah.
make me feel the weather.
It didn't come
Didn't make me
across.
feel
For me
the
too.
experience of being
For
in the
me.
woods. Not at all. It was very weak on its knees. And probably, if anyone is honest enough like we are, they would say the same thing. But of course, that's asking for too much on a platform like this where the wisest people in the world live and thrive. Obviously, it may be asking too much for them to also be honest at the same time. That's it for this one. We have another song of JETHRO TULL coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe in this video, maybe in another video. Let's see. Hunting Girl.
Namaste YouTube, welcome to Cafe Enoma and welcome to our reaction to Hunting Girl by JETHRO TULL. Let's get started with the music. It is the first time single take honest reaction for this.
I wander roads and cross the field to go by where the hounds ran hard. And on the mud a race behind the hunter's chase to where the hawk was barred. One fine young lady is hard to refuse the pants that glare. I unlocked the gate, but she did wait until the pack had disappeared. warning about this high-born hunting girl. She took the simple man's downfall in hand. I raised the flag that she unfurled. Boot leather flashing the spur next the size of my thumb. This high-born hunter that tastes as strange as they come. Unbridled passion, I took the bit in my teeth. Her standing over me on my knees underneath. La, 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 la. My lady beat is street. I must get to my feet and go back to the farm. Whilst I appreciate you want to deviate, I might not do some harm. I'm not inclined to act refined if that's how it goes. Oh, high-born hunting girl, I'm just a normal local so-and-so.
Okay, I like the volume of the flute in this
I
one.
like this one. I really like this one. Yeah.
Way better than
Much
most
better than the title.
of the last 4-5 songs out of JETHRO Tull.
Yeah.
Better than that, because the volume was kept at more or less the same volume as the other instruments.
Yeah.
Definitely the weakest point once again is the vocals, and this was, I'm really not going to beat around the bush, it was quite weak here. But the strong points for the music was outstanding.
Yeah.
It was done beautifully. It was a joy to listen to it. It has its twists and turns. It's like you're going on horseback through the forest and you're chasing a deer. It's like a hunting game is on. So it's very well crafted.
Yeah.
You know, it leaves a lot to your imagination. You can actually sit down in the woods in your villa or a forest lodge, sit down in the veranda or sit down outside, sip on a hot cup of fine Darjeeling tea and enjoy the weather, enjoy this sound of this music. So this had a lot more going for it than the previous song or the previous 3 or 4 songs of JETHRO Tull that I've heard. Having said that, I would definitely recommend for listeners of JETHRO Tull, maybe they haven't heard too much of classical music or classical music where a couple of instruments are more predominant in the songs or the music. So especially I would give you the example of a piano. If you listen to someone like Yanni, Kitaro, even if you go, Richard Clayderman, I'm sure most of you guys have heard of him. James Last, I'm sure you've heard of him too. They are more modern music. But if you hear the piano with these guys, even though it's a principal instrument, just like the flute seems to be here, even though it's a principal instrument, whenever the other instruments come in, it gels beautifully with them. So it enhances the value of the piano to the listener. In the ears of the listener, the piano sound is actually enhanced because it blends in beautifully with the other instruments, which might be the violin, the cello. There might be so many other orchestral instruments in there. When you talk about, especially if you talk about someone like Yanni, so you'll have the entire orchestra. Someone like Kitaro, you'll have the entire orchestra. And of course the greats, the ABC of classical music, Vivaldi, Tchaikovsky, Mozart, Beethoven, all these guys, you have that orchestral feel in the music. So yes, few rallies and certain compositions are an exception, where yes, the piano dominates and it dominates vividly. But if you see most of the music, if you want to get a holistic experience, listen to an album of theirs, listen to a collection of theirs, and you will never be disappointed, because if you really appreciate good music, you will see that the music enhances other music. That's part of the whole thing. So the piano bits enhance the violin bits enhance the piano bits, the cello and other instruments enhance everything else. That is how it should be. So listeners of Jethro Tull probably don't have an idea about that, considering so far nobody's even mentioned something like that in the comments. So definitely they would do themselves a lot of good, especially if they have a lot of time on their hands and they appreciate good music. Please listen to the greats, modern or classical. Modern classical or ancient classical. Take your pick. Listen, because you'll understand what I'm talking about when I talk about things like that. What are your thoughts, Kirti? I'm done.
Wow, I like your examples. They make sense. They definitely make sense to me. I enjoyed this song much more than the last few songs that we have reacted to of Jethro Tull. This definitely is a comeback for me of Jethro Tull in my experience. I didn't bother much about the lyrics of what was being sung because the music was good enough for me to listen to and enjoy. I like the drummer here again. Drummer was shining throughout the song. I like the flute and the volume of the flute, the tune of the flute that was chosen by Ian Anderson. It sounded all good.
And today we got introduced to the guitar player of Jethro Tull. We never knew he existed.
And there is a bass guitar player too.
We never knew that they existed. Where did they come from? Did the drummer also have played the guitar?
The drummer really plays well.
Maybe the drummer played the guitar. It must be one of those rare occasions in a band where the drummer played the guitar. Please don't tell me the vocalist did that too.
So when you give the example of how instruments are supposed to complement other instruments, not drown them out or not dominate them, that's how music should be. For women, it's like, the women who like applying makeup to their faces. The concept of makeup should be, which is highly, misunderstood by most people when it comes to makeup. That makeup is to conceal the flaws on your face, but at the same time highlight the beauty that you have. So any parts, any aspects of your face which is beautiful, it is only supposed to highlight it, not supposed to cover it and make you look something else. Same goes with music. The things that are beautiful, it is supposed to be highlighted much more. At the same time, maybe conceal the things that aren't that fine.
That's it for this one.